Welcome to Education AI Parixes. This is a channel where we empower teachers with innovative ideas, and we also provide insights for AI driven classrooms. In today's session, we explore one of the most influential perspectives in educational psychology, Lev Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory of learning. This theory reshapes how we understand teaching, learning, and the role of culture and society in schools. Vygotsky has argued that learning is not an isolated activity. It happens through social interaction and is deeply influenced by cultural tools such as language, symbols, and traditions. Unlike theories that emphasize individual discovery, Vygotsky believed that knowledge is first constructed socially, then internalized by the learner. This has important implications for curriculum design, instruction, students' learning, and assessment. There are key concepts in this theory. The first is that learning happens through social interaction. Children learn best when they interact with others. Group work, peer learning, and guided participation allow students to co construct knowledge. A math problem solved together often becomes easier than when attempted alone. Similarly, all science concepts will have better understanding for the student when they work together with the teachers, more knowledgeable other, and their peers. So, learning through social interaction is the first key component of this theory. Another important aspect of this learning theory as applied in teaching and learning is that language is most powerful cultural tool. It means that language is both a means of communication and a tool for thinking. Through dialogue, children learn to reason, plan, and reflect. Other tools like writing systems, diagrams, digital technologies extend our cognitive abilities. So, learning is not about remembering the concepts written in the books or rote memorization of formulas. It involves interaction with the social tools, and one of the major social tools is language and the writing system, the diagrams, and the technologies. Particularly in this period, we use digital technologies such as internet and the sources available on the internet for improving education in the classroom. The third important component of this theory, we have already mentioned this component or this concept of this theory, ZPD, the zone of proximal development. The zone of proximal development is the gap between what learners can do independently and what they can achieve with guidance. It means that when students work together under the supervision and guidance of a teacher or a peer, and they work together, there is a possibility of maximum intellectual development. They learn more in this zone. This is called the zone of proximal development. When an adult person or a peer, they work together and they learn. So the classrooms should be the zone of proximal development, not only listening but by doing and participating in the classroom with their peers and with the adults, the teachers. Another important aspect of this theory is more knowledgeable other, MKO. Learning is facilitated by interaction with a more knowledgeable other whether a teacher, a peer, a parent, or even a digital resource. MKOs provide temporary support until learners gain independence. These very important factors can be utilized by teachers and can become a tool or a methodology for improving students' learning in the classroom. In this section of the video, we are going to talk about the classroom applications of this theory. In schools, Vygotsky's theory translates into practical strategies. Group work and peer learning is emphasized. Students collaborate to solve learning problems and they try work together to understand and use the knowledge which they are gaining. Then there is guided participation. Teachers scaffold, guide, help gradually, and then they gradually reduce the support and students start learning on their own in the classroom and out of the classroom. Learning is for future use. Learning is not just for passing the exam or day to day question answers of the teachers, but it is for when they will become a productive member of the society. So, during teaching, providing guided participation, teachers help the students in learning. Culturally responsive teaching. Lessons connect students to cultural background, making learning meaningful. It means that the classroom application requires that every lesson should be linked to the social background and what is the relevance of the content of the textbook topics which we are teaching is how it is relevant to their social life and to the practical life. So culturally responsive teaching is one of the important contribution which can make pedagogy very effective. Socio-cultural theory reshapes education in several ways. By better curriculum design, we must include collaborative tasks and culturally relevant materials. Teachers act as a guide, not mere transmitters of knowledge. Assessment should measure not only independent performance but also potential for guidance, also the potential with guidance. Equity in learning recognizes the value of cultural diversity. Educational implications of this theory have been stated, and it means that this theory emphasizes that the equity or equal chances, equal participation, different social groups in the classroom, it's very important. Of course, any theory can face certain challenges while implementing. Similarly, due to large classrooms, we may limit the individualized instruction and scaffolding. Similarly, over reliance on guidance can hinder independence. Students need certain guidance of more knowledgeable persons, maybe teachers and the peers, but we should be careful that they don't become dependent on the guidance of the teacher and they ultimately become independent thinkers. And cultural specificity raises questions about universal applicability. When we say that education is related to the needs of the society, it has also important implications that education is for the whole world, not only limited to the local circumstances, but later on students will work for the whole world, and it has more comprehensive applicability. Despite these challenges, Vygotsky's theory remains a cornerstone of modern pedagogy. To conclude, Vygotsky's social cultural theory reminds us that learning is a social, cultural, and collaborative journey. By embracing group work, guided participation, and culturally responsive teaching, schools can empower students to connect knowledge with their identities. Thank you for joining us again on Education AI Parixes. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful educational theories and AI powered teaching strategies. Together, let us empower teachers with AI for their classrooms. Thank you very much.